but apparently it did not happen. But I will say, a lot can still happen between now and the draft, and even during the draft, if the Raiders really, really wanted our guy Jayden Daniels.
Right. And I think, you bring up a larger point in, yes, Caleb, they think is going to go number one. But the problem is he's originally from DC. So I think that's throwing people off. And that makes them think that maybe, the Commanders are going to pull the switcheroo. But nevertheless, we're loaded with quarterbacks, tackles, and wide receivers. And each team needs different things. Who knows what's going to happen here, Pep?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, okay, for the Chargers, right? They're not going to go out and get a quarterback, even though they have one of the top picks. They got Justin Herbert, right? So you think they would go for, Marvin Harrison Jr. if he's still on the board, or a big offensive tackle, because Jim Harbaugh reportedly wants the Chargers to play like Michigan, be physical, big and strong up front, run the football hard. Kind of a different look for the Chargers. Not all the pressure would be on Justin Herbert, but you're right. Each team would have different needs. But there are a lot of teams right now near the top of the draft that need quarterbacks, and there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the draft. Here's another good juicy rumor involving our guy Jayden Daniels. So we're assuming Caleb Williams from USC will go one to the Chicago Bears. It seems like a slam dunk. But here's another juicy one. Reportedly, Jayden Daniels has told people that if he could pick like his dream spot, his ideal place to land, it would be the Raiders or the Vikings. That's the other juicy rumor out there. And we've heard Minnesota thinking about trying to move up to get a quarterback.
Well, Kirk Cousins, he's in Atlanta now, man. Yeah. So it's kind of up in the air on who their QB could be. He knows that, hey, if you're going to send me to a cold weather place, I'd rather be indoors. That is a possibility, man.
Yeah, with Justin Jefferson, he's another LSU guy. Minnesota's kind of a team that's, they're good. I mean, they could win. They could be a contender next year. And the Raiders, going back to the Raiders, Antonio Pierce is their head coach. He was an assistant at Arizona State when Jayden first began his college career with the Sun Devils. So there's some ties there. So I don't know. I still think he's going to be a Washington Commander by the end of tonight. But there's those conspiracy theories floating around out there.
It was so funny. Just quickly, I remember I was watching a video. They're like, let's remember, our boy Jayden Daniels has been in college so long. He was throwing touchdowns to Brandon Ayuk at ASU. It was very funny to see that. I was like, oh, yeah, I had completely forgotten.
No, you're exactly right. In fact, I think he was asked at his pro day about like who his mentors are. And he's like, oh, it's a bunch of guys I played with that are in the NFL now. And Brandon Ayuk was one of those guys. And I'm like, yeah, he's been around. Jayden Daniels has been around for a little bit now. So
yeah, he has.
Yeah, so best of luck to Jayden Daniels tonight. We'll see where he ends up. Probably number 2 to Washington, but you just never know as we go into the NFL draft. Day 1 is tonight in Detroit. All right, Patrick, we got to talk NBA playoffs. It's not a do or die, but it sure feels like a do or die tonight for the Lakers. Game 3 at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. The Lakers are trailing the world champions, Denver Nuggets, 2-0. And they're coming off a heartbreaking loss in Game 2 in which they lost. The Lakers had a big lead. They lost it, and then they lost at the buzzer. So if the Lakers have any chance, they have to win tonight.
It really does feel like if they lose this game, it is that last nail in the coffin on this season. There is no doubt about it, man.
Yeah, and I heard some sports NBA experts talking about if the Lakers fall flat on their face against Denver and LeBron comes to the realization if he's chasing one more title, if he has no loyalty towards the Lakers, if he's just out to win titles, maybe he goes and leaves and goes somewhere else to finish out his career. I mean, it's crazy to think he still has a couple more seasons left in him, but he probably does. And would he go to, I don't know, Golden State, maybe join Steph Curry up there? I don't know. If he's chasing titles, there's some scenarios out there where he could probably do that.
Right. There's always been that rumor that is the one player he would love to play with, somebody who can produce and put up points and take some defense outside away from him. Yeah. They're having trouble with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is kind of slipping. So, could they form a new brothership up there in the Bay?
It could. Maybe he'll stay loyal to the Lakers. Maybe he's going to follow wherever his son might end up. I don't know if his son will even make it to the NBA, but I mean, there's a lot of things in play. But if the Lakers just fall flat against Denver, I would say anything's on the table at this point for LeBron James.
You might be onto something. Let's see where Bronny lands.
Yeah. if he ends on a terrible team, maybe he wouldn't follow him there, but maybe if there's a contender out there, we'll see. And the Clippers, they're tied with the Dallas Mavericks in their series 1-1. Kawhi Leonard did return for Game 2, but the Clippers lost Game 2 against the Dallas Mavericks. So Kawhi came back, but didn't really help anything in the end, as Kawhi's just trying to get knock off the rust and get back into game shape.
Just like you've been saying all along, what a matchup this is with the Mavericks and the Clippers. I think this is going 7 for sure.
It's got to go 7. You know what I mean? It's a 4 versus a 5 seed. So at least on paper, they're pretty even. And the first 2 games have been a lot of fun. So I would be surprised if it does not go all 7. I'm not here to make a bold prediction and say the Clippers will win, but I think it'll be very close.
Definitely.
So we'll see if Kawhi can actually give them a boost now as we play it could be 5 more games between the Clippers and the Mavericks. And Patrick, let's end on some baseball, talking about the 2 best players in all of the major leagues right now. We start with Angels slugger Mike Trout, now in the leadoff spot. Hit his first leadoff home run to lead off the game since 2012. So it's been a long time since he's done that, but Mike Trout in the leadoff spot, which I guess makes sense because he's going to get more at-bats over the course of a season if you're hitting at the top of the order. And right now, he leads Major League Baseball with 10 home runs.
Yeah, right away he hits a dinger, and it's like, well, it looks like he didn't forget how to get the party started.
No, man. He probably, you know what? He's Mike Trout. He'll probably feel comfortable anywhere in that batting order. But yeah, up top, leading things off, throw the I'm just going to try to get on base out the window. No, he's going to try to leave the yard, hitting leadoff as well. So Mike Trout batting leadoff, leads Major League Baseball in home runs. And then you got Shohei Ohtani, leads the majors in batting average. He leads them in hits, and he leads them in doubles. So he's tearing it up right now for the Dodgers. If you haven't been watching, he hit the hardest hit home run the other night, too, went 450 feet, almost like 120 miles per hour as it left the ballpark. Like, he's having an insane, season so far. So Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, your 2 best players.
Yeah, former teammates. But like you said, we do have something really special right here in Southern California, just like we have something special with Jayden Daniels, and that'll be a big night for him, and something special with our guy, Pep. I can't wait to talk to you on Monday after the aftermath of all of this stuff that happens. We'll have a lot to talk about. Tell them how to get your stuff, Pep.
Get my stuff. In the meantime, all weekend long, we'll be keeping close tabs on Jayden Daniels and the draft on Inland Sports. Heavy on Instagram, heavy on Twitter, little bit on Facebook, and we would go real hard on YouTube. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.